Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. Hopefully we have some people hopping on. It has been ages since I feel like I've done a live. So I am getting ready for my sisters to come over in a little while. I'm hosting a little Super Bowl party get together. So I just stopped, I went to the gym really quick, did a pregame workout. And then I stopped and I got, hey Josh, I got a couple of things, a couple of groceries that I needed. You've missed the lives. Hey, I'm so happy to be back. But I got a couple of things for a couple of side dishes and stuff that I'm making for, not really side dishes, but like appetizer type of stuff. And then when I was out at Walgreens, I saw these slipper socks, Wonder Woman. How cute are these? So I got a couple of pairs. I got one for me and my sisters, one for each of my sisters that are going to be there, because for Christmas Eve, hey guys, my other sister brought this big bag of slipper socks from Amazon for everybody to just like pull out of, which I thought was so fun because we were comfortable. So I haven't been on a live in ages. I'm so happy you guys are hopping on. It's kind of a double-edged sword. So the first reason I wasn't on is just because in January things kind of get hectic. I volunteer with a bunch of nonprofits and everyone kind of hits the ground running. So it's been a really, really busy January. Secondly, I did a live video right around the time where that woman was tragically killed by somebody who she met while she was incarcerated. And then we did a live follow-up the next day, and I said something that some people got really offended by. What happens, you guys, when I do my live videos, I get really energetic. I get this burst of energy. I'm interacting with you guys. So what happened was I said something. I started to go in a direction. I got interrupted by a comment. I never finished my thought. So instead of coming back and making my point, I stopped mid-thought, and it sounded very insulting to people. So what I said was, I said something along the lines of, I was repeating a comment that somebody had posted on that video the day before, and I was responding to it. The comment was, anybody with a homicide charge should not come out of prison. I was responding, and I was saying, what about people who are truly innocent inside of jail? Then I got distracted by another comment, and I didn't come back here. What I was trying to say was, I agree with you if you are still displaying, or the inmate is still displaying red flags, has not displayed any signs of rehabilitation or remorse for what they did, if they're not innocent, then I truly agree with that. I don't think they should just let people with homicides out of prison if they are not reformed or if they're displaying all of these red flags. But I never came back around to make that point. So people thought that I was saying, people are very insulted because their loved ones have those types of charges, and they thought that I was kind of poo-pooing all over their efforts to get their loved ones' sentences overturned. Okay, let's rewind. Adam's closest friend inside of prison, who is, oh my gosh, thank you Jennifer for the $9.99, closest friend inside of prison, who has been a father figure to him for many years. They were together at Allenwood. They got completely separated. He didn't know where he went because you didn't tell them back then, and he never asked me to look. And then they got back together. They just so happened to go to the same prison when Adam moved to a minimum, and they were thicker than thieves, close, both very, 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 very mature, reformed, rehabilitated men. And now they don't live together anymore. That friend moved on. Hey mama. But that man, we've been fighting to help him for his release for many years, and he has those kinds of charges, and I would do anything to help get him out. So that is obviously, that is me proving my point to you guys. But just remember that it's hard to do it on a live. And I want to point something out too. One of the women that came to me said she was really offended, and but she didn't attack me. She said, I had a feeling that wasn't your heart. So, and I wanted to come on here. I wanted to go on social media and I wanted to put you on blast. She said, but I second guessed that because I didn't think that would be fair to you. And we talked through it in direct message. And I appreciate that because, oh my gosh, Mrs. Rogers, thank you so much for the $20. I love you. Thank you for the sticker. Oh my God. Thank you for being you. If that's an avocado, I am in love. Thank you so much. You guys are so amazing. And all of this money that you guys super chat always goes directly to helping Adam come home, whether that be pushing his petition or helping him with anything he needs if he's suddenly released, which you never know. Not that it's going to happen any time in the immediate future, but hey, you never know. So that right there is case in point that I get distracted by comments, just like every other YouTuber when they do a live, unless they block them or shut them off. So there it is. But I felt kind of scarred, and I felt kind of reserved and hesitant to come back on and make a live video since, because I never want to come on and say anything insulting. I want to make sure that I am as supportive as I can to everybody. That doesn't mean that I'm going to encourage bad behavior. That doesn't mean I'm not going to lovingly call you out. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to administer tough love if and when it's necessary and then hug you afterwards. But it does mean that I never want to come across like I am ostracizing any group of people, like I am pointing fingers at you or anything like that. I do everything out of the kindness of my heart. I do everything with Strong Prison Wives and Families and with my YouTube channel to help you guys. So that said, I don't have any other topics that I want to discuss today. I just wanted to make sure I came in on a live so I could interact with you guys and give you some love. And the crazy thing is, I was all dressed up, I had my makeup done, I had my hair fixed yesterday, and I just didn't get around to doing a live. So now you're catching me frizzy haired, sweaty faced, no makeup, gym row, which is great because that's also a side of me too. So does anybody have any questions or anything that you guys want to answer? What are you guys doing for the Super Bowl today? Who do you want to win? This is how much, hey everybody, this is how much I enjoy and love football. That I went to go get my nails done the other day, and the woman's like, who are you rooting for the Super Bowl? And I was like, who's in it? So that is, I know it's Kansas City and somebody, I don't know. I only know that because they said it at work the other day, because that's me. I don't really pay attention to sports. I don't understand anything. One time, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I asked how they got the line of scrimmage, I think that's what it's called, how they kept moving it, because I didn't realize that it was just on the TV, that red line. Yeah, so we don't trust me when it comes to sports. Not my forte. I understand baseball though. My dad is a diehard Mets fan, and so he used to take us out of school and take us to Mets games, when it was called Shea Stadium, all the time when I was little. So that was like family bonding. So that's the one sport I do understand. Okay, anybody have anything they want me to answer? Oh, and I could talk to you guys about this too. The Super Bowl is a very significant day for me as a prison wife, and maybe this will pass along a lesson to you guys. So when I got back in touch with Adam in 2009, we knew each other before he went to prison, before I went to college. I went away to college. He went away to jail. He got out the first time, by the way. He got out. I was still at college. I had a boyfriend, very, very serious boyfriend. We dated for quite a few years. And then while I was still away, Adam was only out for like a year and a half before he caught this federal case. So he went to prison again. I came home and we had completely lost touch. So when I got back in touch with him was 10 years later. And it was like August, September. And I fell into that where I felt guilty going out. I felt guilty celebrating things. I felt guilty partying because in my head, this man that I loved couldn't be with me, but also he was miserable in a jail cell in my head, and he couldn't celebrate, so I shouldn't celebrate. I felt guilty. I felt ashamed. I felt alone. And so when I started Strong Prison Wives and Families in 2011, 2012 in this YouTube channel, yes, I did videos back then and they were awful, you guys, so cringy. I am still on the fence if I'm going to delete those, and just because I don't want YouTube, now that I have over 10,000 subs, and I love you guys, and if you're new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of my crazy, and just learn about prison wife life and loving somebody who's incarcerated. But back then, I only have like 100 views on each of those videos, but I was so shy and I wasn't really making sense of everything. So now that YouTube's suggesting my videos, I don't know if I should delete those. It's just something that I've been thinking about regardless. So I was putting myself in prison with Adam. Once I started Strong Prison Wives and Families and interacting with other people who were supporting loved ones who were inside of prison, I discovered that this was a thing that majority of us do. And a lot of times it didn't matter if it was your significant other, although that's what most of us who were involved romantically, who were involved romantically with them, it was anybody. I became very good friends with somebody who was a mom who did the same thing because she felt guilty while her son was in a jail cell. So fast forward to the Super Bowl that following year, my sister, I'm 10 years older than my second to last sister, and we're very, very close, and she was still in college at the time. And she's like, and she went to Rutgers, and she's like, come down to Rutgers, let's go out with all of my friends. Everybody's asking for you because everybody, this is so amazing. Everybody thinks we're twins. We look so much alike. And I'm always like, say it again when people ask us, because I'm 10 years older than her. So she's like, everybody's asking for my twinnie to come out, da 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 da. And the Giants were in the Super Bowl that year. And so, local New Jersey. And I contemplated and I debated and I was like, you know what? I'm going out. I bought myself a little Giants shirt, and originally I did it so I could have photos for Adam. Isn't that crazy and like weirdly codependent and strange and so prison wifey? But at least I did it, right? And then I wound up going out and I wound up having a really good time. And then the next day was when I wrote a blog for a woman named Inmate who started Strong Prison Wives and Families with me. She's no longer involved. Her husband was awarded an early release and she wound up having a baby with special needs. So she kind of went on her own way. But at that point, the day after, and I had written a blog for her little tiny blog at that point, because back then people would guest author for each other's blogs and promote themselves. And I was promoting this YouTube channel before we had Strong Prison Wives and Families, and her little blog was called Strong Prison Wives. So I wrote this article and it was all about how I was so proud of myself for going out that night and how everybody should really force themselves to do it because we need to take care of ourselves and we need to live our lives because life does not stop. While our loved ones are incarcerated, life continues. And what happens, you guys, if these relationships just don't work out, right? Especially, and I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to my people who met their loved ones while they're inside, or who met their loved ones, who rekindled their relationship while their loved ones are inside. But I'm also talking to my sisters and brothers whose relationships started before, because sometimes your loved one comes out with so much PTSD that they're a different person. So to everybody, and I was just talking about this yesterday. I did a podcast interview for this podcast that my friend is starting for specifically to highlight what prison wives and family members go through, and I'm so excited. So hopefully it'll be mid-February or early March that I could start helping her promote that. So much fun. But in there I was saying that I just forgot my point. This is what happens. I had Starbucks this morning. When I have Starbucks, my brain goes faster than my mouth. I forgot my point. I was talking about vicarious imprisonment. I don't remember. I just went on a long tangent. Somebody remind me what I was saying. That's so awful. I'm in the parking lot waiting for visit. Yay! Congratulations for your visit. I'm sad. I can't go back to see Adam for a while. I know I was talking about vicarious imprisonment and writing that blog, but how was I tying it together with the podcast yesterday? I don't know, but all I know is 100% of the people that I have personally been involved with have done something of the sort. So, read your comment. They don't come out at all, or you missed out on life. Okay, I'm reading your comment, but anyway, doesn't really matter. But, PTSD. Okay, wait, it's coming back to me. Guys, this is so embarrassing. This is why I shouldn't do lives until I'm ready with notes or something. This is it. Got it. Thank you. Okay. So when you go out, right, and you meet somebody, let's say at the gym or a bar or the grocery store or on Tinder or whatever, wherever people meet nowadays. I've been out of the dating game for a really long time. That's a 50-50 shot, right? That's a 50-50 shot that it's going to work out or it's not going to work out, okay? Same, but maybe a little bit, the odds are stacked against you when you're meeting somebody who's in prison, because let's be really honest and raw, you guys, a lot of the people that are inside of prison that are looking for love on the outside aren't necessarily doing it in a way where it's genuine. They're doing it in a way where they're trying to fish for people. You can refer back to, I spoke all about this, but you can refer back to my video about the little girl who on TikTok, I just posted it, I think it was on last Wednesday, who was telling kids on TikTok, who the average age is 13 to 18 years old, to find love on Write a Prisoner. And so a lot of these people, and this is from the inside, you guys, I didn't make this up. This is from the inside. People are saying that majority of those people, or a lot of those people, aren't genuine. Are there some that are genuine? Sure. Are there some people who really, really just want to look for love and they've moved on from the street and they have reformed themselves and they've done the work? Sure. But that is the anomaly. If you find love that way, God bless you, but that is a needle in a haystack. That is from the inside, my friends. That is from somebody who has done this. I'm telling you that to say, if you get in a relationship like that, that's awesome. Look for the red flags, refer back to my red flags in a prison relationship video. You just have to search my videos for that. But you cannot stop living your life, because it's 50-50 or maybe more, maybe like 75-25, that it's going to work or not. And so you don't ever, and even if it works out and it's a beautiful relationship when your loved one comes home, you just lost out or stopped living for 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, however many years, because you're depressed that your loved one's inside of prison. Now, you should be in a healthy relationship where your loved one says, my love, what do you love to do? How can I help support you so you can go do that? If you have a loved one who's saying, how dare you go out? I'm stuck in here. You need to stay home, X, Y, and Z, then you need to reevaluate that situation. Now, that comes with a caveat in itself. If you're trying to go out clubbing by yourself in the middle of the night in a bad part of town and he's like, I don't think that's a good idea, he's got your back. He's loving you. If he's like, you can't go out because I'm stuck in here, that's a different story. So just know your worth, and take a lesson out of my experience at the Super Bowl party with my sister. We're going like 8 or 9 years ago, and have some fun today, you guys. It doesn't have to be revolved around football. It could be just revolved around giving yourself a homemade facial or hair treatment. I'm trying to get my hair back to healthy. It's been a disaster. We could talk about that on another video, but I try not to do too many like girl videos on here because that's not why you guys are here, and I don't really get a lot of engagement on them. Okay, let's look. Ro, do you ever have relationships with other men while Adam is in prison, like an open relationship type of thing? That's a great question. Personally, I don't. I never have. It's just not in my makeup or my personality. My advice to any prison girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, family, whatever, well, romantically, but is to, from the get, have a open conversation with them, have a real conversation with them, and just ask, state your case. And a lot of times the man or the woman who's locked up will say, I'm okay with you having an open relationship. And there's no right or wrong way in any relationship, but there's no or right or wrong way in a prison relationship, especially because it's so odd, right? So when you don't have a physical relationship or a physical aspect of your life, if that's something that you need as a human being and you can't cut yourself off from that, then have that conversation with him or her. And then you guys can come up with boundaries around that. If he's like, I can't do that, or she's like, no, that's not cool with me, then that relationship might need to be over or on hold until they're released, because you need to go on with your life, right? Or you might say, he or she might say, that's fine. That's totally fine. Go do you. They might also say, go do you, but I don't want to hear about it. Just don't tell me, make believe it doesn't happen. That said, then you have to stick to that boundary. And if they ask you, you have to tell them honestly, you told me you don't want to know. Because I've heard of situations where that happened, and then years later they asked, and the girl was honest, and she had slept with a few people, and he got really jealous and wanted to break up with her because she cheated on him. But that was their rule back in the day. So they can't do it as a test to you because that's controlling. And then if they ask you and your boundary is we don't talk about it, then you have to stick to that boundary, because it might create this mistrust issue that's not really a trust issue because you were allowed to do it. Allowed is a really harsh word, but you guys in your relationship and the boundaries within your relationship, that was okay. So I just think that here, honesty is key. Once you start lying about it, once you start hiding things, unless your boundary is not to talk about it, that's not hiding it, that's just not talking about it. That's where the issue comes in, is when you're dishonest and you start lying. That's where you have to kind of just figure out what you want out of this. And you can't really have your cake and eat it too if that's not what your relationships, I don't want to say rules, but the boundaries within your own relationship are. Just remember, you treat somebody in your relationship how you want to be treated, right? So, but for me personally, to answer your question, like 45 minutes down a tangent road, no, I don't. It's just not me. I am one of those very, very, very emotional women who, once my heart is given to somebody, sex for me is more emotional. No, it's also physical, let's be real. I mean, come on. But I get a lot of emotion wrapped up in sex. I don't do well with casual sex. It's not my thing. So for me, it's just not something that I do. Okay, 15 thumbs up, 72 people on. So I'd love for you guys to just really quick hit that thumbs up, get us more likes on this video, because that just helps me out. And all you have to do is just press a button. So simple. Vitamin supplement suggestions for dieters, workouters, LOL. Oh, that's a good question. So that's just like so broad. I don't know anything about your lifestyle, where you're coming from, what your workouts are, anything like that. So that's a really, I can't answer that question without knowing any more. You know, that's like you going to the doctor saying, I don't feel well, give me medicine. Okay, but what's the issue? So tell me a little bit more about yourself. You never catch me live. That's because I've been live in a while. I hope you and Adam are doing well and having a blessed day. Thank you, and right back to you. So today, Super Bowl is something that inmates, at least where Adam is, really look forward to, because first of all, sports and guys and whatever. And second of all, there's a lot of good food. And Adam was really pissed because on Friday, I don't know if it was the captain or the assistant warden or the warden, somebody came around and just started threatening them. Like, if there are any incident reports this weekend, you guys are all getting locked down and no one's watching the Super Bowl. I'm taking all the remotes. And so, like, what? Because let's be real, okay? You can't just walk around and say that in a prison, because when things happen, things have to be addressed, right? So by saying that, all you're doing is like walking around a kindergarten classroom saying, nobody here do anything wrong. It's what? And I'm not saying people in jail are kindergartners, okay? I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you're just throwing something out to the ether just to say it, you know, or just to flex. Well, then all of a sudden there was no incidents, nothing. Yesterday they walked around and they're like, oh, you're not having a special meal tomorrow. I guess it's like usually they do wings and something else. He told me, I don't remember, but some Super Bowl related food. And what he told me was, he goes, that's really messed up, because all of that extra stuff does not come out of the money that is, like, you know, people are always like, taxpayer dollars. That's not the case. It comes out of the inmate trust fund. Who pays the inmate trust fund? We pay the inmate trust fund. It's a markup. I think it's a 30% markup on the stuff that sorry, my sister's sorry guys, the stuff that they buy at the commissary. And so who puts that money on there? The loved ones of the people incarcerated. He said by law that money needs to be allocated to certain things. So what they've done there was they fixed up the officers' cafeteria. They call it the OM, officers, I don't know, sorry guys, the officers something, I don't know. He said, and they've gotten every week during football season, they've gotten wings, they've gotten a couple of other things, and that's coming all out of the inmate trust fund, because they can spin that and they can make everybody, like the outside, by law, this has to go to certain things, so it's going to inmate food. What? Yes. So he's genuinely upset about that. And I don't blame him. And he's like, I don't eat that food. It's not my thing. He's like, I'm not mad about the food. He's like, but the principle behind it is jacked up. And you guys who are asking me why I can't go back to visit with Adam there because of things like this. So I counted my chickens before they hatched. I need you guys who have a loved one in prison to listen to this. If you're not going to take anything else away from this video, please take this away from this video, okay? I preach this and I didn't listen to myself this time. You have to be really, really careful about what you put out online. I always tell you guys, when you're, let's say, pretrial or you're working on an appeal, you don't talk about that kind of stuff openly online, because it's like playing a game of poker and putting your cards out there, right, for everybody to see. Well, I've been so vocal because I thought Adam's move was in the bag. He put in for a transfer. I just figured it was going to happen. It got shot down. So in between him putting in for that transfer and it getting shot down, I've been exposing a lot of stuff that's going on there. And will anything happen? I don't think, you never know, but I will not put myself in a vulnerable position where I can get arrested when they quote unquote could find something in my car. Have I ever had drugs in this car? No. Do I ever plan on having drugs in this car? Never. I rarely have anybody in my car except for my nieces and nephews who are under 12 years old. Nobody has ever put drugs in my car. But imagine if they find something and all of a sudden I wind up in jail out in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. I have a lawyer that I could talk to about it, but I would still get arrested and then have to contact, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not worth it to me to put myself in that vulnerable position. So now that I said all that, I might delete this video after I end it, but you guys asked me why, and that's why. So how long have we been on? Almost 30 minutes. Does anybody have anything else? I don't want to make this too long. I have to go inside. I have to cook for the Super Bowl. And let's look at your comments. That makes you mad too. It's really, really, really bad. Could you please make a video about how and where an inmate can get help for a start after prison? You mean like a re-entry organization? Is that what you're asking? Or companies that would hire them, or like all of the above? Yes. Okay, what state are you in? Do inmates at Adams Prison have the option to see a therapist on the inside? Lots of love. I think there's always going to be a prison therapist, but I don't know how they are. I don't know if they're actually seen. I don't know if they're just writing scripts. I don't know how that works, but I'll find out. And I don't know if you could just like optionally go see them. I don't know if you ask to go see them, if they're going to put you on that, isolate you, put you on suicide watch, that kind of stuff. I don't know how it works. I will find out though. These are really good questions. Does anybody have any other questions? If you guys put a question in the comments before the ones that I scroll back, I'm not going to scroll back and answer them all today, because then we're always on for like an hour and a half. So if there's something important that you asked in a question while I was just rambling, just post it again and I'll try to get to it. Okay, you're in Germany, so I need to get some information how he can get help. So where is he? What state is he being released to? Did you get my email I sent in December? Veronica, I don't think so. I'm really behind on emails, and I don't think I'm even up to December yet. But if you can tell me what it's about here, if you feel comfortable, I could tell you if I got it. But it doesn't, if you could just send it again, that might be the easiest. Awesome, Nikita. Ohio. Okay. So I don't know of I do know of an organization. Contact the Ridge Project in Ohio. They're a great organization, and I believe they offer reentry services. It's RIDGE, the Ridge Project. It's Ron and Kathy. I don't know how to pronounce their last name, but it's like TIJ, and then I don't remember the rest, Tijuana or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. But tell them I sent you, and they will help you out. Anybody have anything else before I get going? What's everyone doing for the Super Bowl? What did you guys think of the cult video? We didn't even talk about that. Hey, Mallory. Hey, Anawak. You're welcome. Okay, we have 70 people on and 37 likes. Can we get to 50 before I end this? Who do I want to win the Super Bowl? That's so funny you asked that because before I said, somebody asked me that the other day and I'm like, who's in it? So I really don't care. The thing that I'm looking the most forward to is having family over and cooking for them. I show a lot of my love by entertaining, by cooking for people, so Italian, isn't it? But so my two sisters are coming because my one sister's husband works for Venmo and it is their biggest day of the whole entire year. So every single Super Bowl he's at home working. He can't even leave. So they're both coming over. One's bringing the dog and I'm just going to cook up a feast for all of us. I'm cooking vegan chili because one of my sisters is full vegan. The other one and I have added back in a little bit of eggs and dairy, no dairy, eggs and seafood and fish. So I'm making completely vegan chili. I am making a crab dip. I'm making guacamole. So I have like chips and pita crackers and all of that stuff, which I broke into last night. Oops. I'm making like a Asian slaw salad thing. Doesn't it sound not so Super Bowl? Oh, I'm making buffalo cauliflower. Obviously, I'm a health nut if you can't tell already, but I try to take like traditional recipes and make them healthier. So like the crab dip is non-dairy. I made it for Christmas Eve. Everybody was obsessed with it. So I'm doing that. And then my brother-in-law, well, my sister's boyfriend eats normal. So they're going to get some wings and they're going to get some pizzas. And for 4 people, we have way too much food. I am one of 6. I grew up in a family of 8. So I genuinely do not know how to cook for less than 8 people. When I cook for just myself, it's like boatloads of food. It's horrible. I don't know how to not do it. It's bad. I discovered an amazing vegetarian orzo with roasted veggies. Yum. Oh yeah, my other sister's bringing roasted vegetables. Oh, and I just bought pineapple and I bought strawberries and chocolate. So I'm going to make chocolate dipped fruit for dessert. So good. And of course I have some non-dairy ice cream and I have my sister's making banana bread. Do you hear all of this food? As I'm talking, I'm like, this is absolutely insane and ridiculous. But the good thing is, see, I go back on a strict eating plan during the weekdays. So this is great because I could just package it all up. I save like Chinese soup containers and my sisters can take it home and have food for the week. How can you join the Strong Prison Wives group if you don't have a Facebook? So do you have an Instagram? We have an account on Instagram. It is just at Strong Prison Wives. We have a website, which is strongprisonwivesandfamilies.com. I don't know if you have what your reasoning for not having a Facebook is, but if you want, like a lot of people can't have a Facebook attached to their real identity because of fear of being outed. Or like people at work finding out, that kind of stuff. So they just make a separate prison wife Facebook account. So some people just, within the boundaries of their relationship with their loved one, they decide that social media is not their thing. And if that's the case, then this isn't going to help you. But if it's the case of fearing being outed, some people have a plain like prison wife identity and a personal identity for work friends and that kind of stuff, or just a prison wife identity. And some people don't care. Power to you. I love you. I wish I was like this. But they have just a plain old personal, I don't care who sees that I'm associated. Now, the Invisible Shackles group is completely secret, private, so like your boss won't see that you're part of that group. The main Strong Prison Wives Facebook page is open. We cannot make it private because it's just old. I think we made that in 2011 or 2012, so we can't hide that. And if you're part of that, it is possible that people will see, but you can change that in your own settings on your Facebook page. I don't know if that helps, but if you do not have Facebook and do not want to get Facebook and don't want to make a separate account, or on Instagram or on Twitter, we do have our separate Strong Prison Wives app. Unfortunately, the app is going away in May because, not to our doing, the company that it's being powered by a company for us. and then they're paying a separate company to host it. The company that they're paying to host it is shutting down. So the app is going away. That's okay with us right now because it's kind of this weird technology where I can't get it on my phone. People, when they get a new iPhone, they can't download the app. It's not available in their app store. So you can use that until June. You can sign up for it if you'd like, but just know that it's going to go away then. Rowan friends, please check out the awesome, totally private name or post a picture. Oh, wait. Sorry. Somebody commented, I was reading it. Somebody else commented, it scrolled up. So I read half of two people's comments. Check out the totally awesome private. I don't understand what that means. Okay. If I make, maybe the comment just got screwy. Okay, that's a great question. If I make a Prison Wife Facebook account, do I need to use my real name or post a picture? Nope, you don't. So you can make up a name. Like I know some people use like their middle name and their loved one's last name if they're not married. Or if they, okay, so let me think of an example. Like you can use, let's say my middle name was Sarah, which is not. I could say, and Adam's middle name is Bentley. I can make my name Sarah Bentley. And I'm not telling you my middle name because I'm hiding it from you. I don't have one because my first name is two names. Any update on Adam? Unfortunately, we got a not so good update. I was advised by the attorney not to talk about anything legal further until he tells me I can. And just like I was saying earlier that, I should have said this before, just like I was saying earlier that you don't want to show your cards in a poker game. So until I can talk about it, I was advised not to. But really, at the end of the day, we got one little piece of bad news and it was kind of a stretch. So it's just, it is what it was. And there's nothing. We're just waiting, but really that's all I could say about that. I hate doing that to you guys, and I'm so sorry. I have to apologize for that because I've had people that are like, why do you just say that you can't say stuff? Like, why don't you just not say it? Well, I don't want to not answer your questions, and that's kind of me learning as I go and me kind of teaching you as we all go. Like I was saying earlier, when you're pre-trial, I've said this for years, do not talk about your loved one's case when they're about to go to court when you're pre-trial, right? Because you don't want to incriminate them without even realizing it by what you're saying online. It's kind of similar here. Not that I'm incriminating him, of course, because the trial's already done, but I don't necessarily want to officer trouble. Hey girl, want to, I don't know. I just can't talk about it, but I just wanted to tell you guys that. So the other day, officer trouble, the other day I was in my everyday, like not prison wife life at work. And I heard somebody go, here comes trouble. And I was like, ah, that's my girl. And I thought of you. Invisible Shackles is awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Rogers. Okay, we're at 45 thumbs up. Can we get to 50 before we go? They listen and watch everything. Yep, you're right, Chris. Thank you. So, you know when like somebody just... Officer Trouble just said, why did they say that? What happened? They weren't talking to me. I was sitting at my desk working, and like one of the sales reps was coming over to talk to one of my coworkers. And so, you know, you joke with somebody like, uh-oh, here comes trouble. That's what it was. They weren't calling they weren't calling me a name or anything like that. They were just joking. So, but it made me think of you. Okay, so does anybody have anything else before I go? Oh, we're at 49 thumbs up. That's sweet, yeah. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us on the live. We hit 50. I love you guys. Totally didn't realize my name is not under my hubby's. Oh, that's okay, Tina. Let me tell you really quick what we have coming up for videos this week, and then I'll let you guys go so you can prep for the Super Bowl and I can cook. Do you guys want me to? Well, all of my sisters. Oh, shut it off. I'm sorry, guys. All of my sisters are trying to contact me right now, so I have to go and call them. But do you guys want a vlog of what I'm doing for like the Super Bowl? Do you enjoy vlogs? I used to do a lot more like video blogs, but I stopped and did a lot more sit downs. as we started to get more subscribers. So if you guys want me to come back and do a little bit, throw more vlogs in there, I absolutely will. Oh, you guys are saying yes. Okay. So I'll do that for the Super Bowl. I did one last year for the Super Bowl, actually. We have a video where I am showing you guys a nail product, but it's related back to incarceration, which isn't that crazy? Like supporting a company that supports incarcerated families, especially children. So that's coming. I also have, an interview, part 1 of an interview with a man who was a lifer who did 23 years and got parole in the feds. And you're like, Ro, the feds don't have parole. You're right, except for 3 types of inmates. And we discussed that in that video, and he tells you his background story. It's one of Adam's best friends. I always post Adam's picture with this guy's picture a lot because it's a hot picture of Adam, not gonna lie. And so you'll see that picture in the video, but very good friend of his. So we're doing that. And then I honestly don't know what's coming on Friday. I'm kind of behind on videos. So that'll be a surprise. Maybe it'll be a Super Bowl vlog. I love you guys. Enjoy yourselves. Hate to be the mama, but do not drink and drive. Be safe. Stay home if you need to. Use Uber if you need to, and enjoy. The video idea was about how corrections officers and people in power and institutions sometimes try to guilt family and friends, and how much or how often they come and visit their loved ones. Oh my God, I love this. We need to discuss this further. Can you please email me again and just say that it's you from YouTube? I am so sorry to do that to you, but that probably either never made it, went to my spam, or got lost in the bottom of my inbox, because I think that's an excellent idea. I love you guys. Keep staying strong. Keep loving strong. Keep supporting one another through this journey, because you're one day closer to it all being behind you. Lots of love from my heart. Lots of love. Lots of gratitude from both of our hearts for all of those super chats. I love you guys so, so, so much. And I'll see you tomorrow with, I believe it's the nail video tomorrow. Okay? Bye, guys.